So we go and do this. We get taken out this 6-month guard duty, you know, and we're off a week up in Kiel, and we do this sailing course. And while we're on this course, you know, I had three good mates on this course, and we're sailing the Army's latest sort of racing yacht, having the time of our lives. It was just fantastic. And we kept saying on the way back to Germany, because we sailed back across the Baltic, we're saying, you know, we could just keep going. You know, we had this thing, we could just keep going. We could go to the Med. We could, you know, we don't have to go back to the Army. It's, you know, what's going on there? It was dull. There was no prospects. There's no action. But it was a lovely full moon, and we were sort of walking back, striding back to camp, sort of in good spirits. And next thing you know, we're breaking into the cookhouse. We're getting 10-man packs. You know, the yacht's still full of beer from like previous nights and stuff like that. So we're getting this thing, and we started singing you know, pirate songs, like, you know, and all the rest of it. And I'm thinking I'm going along with it and all the rest of it. I'm the oldest. I'm one of the oldest there. We get down to the jetty, and the idea was we would sleep one night on the yacht, and then we'd go back to camp the next day, right? So the lads are like, right, let's go, we're off, you know. And they start undoing the mooring, right? And I'm sat, you know, on the jetty, right? It's you know, it's really lovely warm night. She's got a t-shirt on, I can see all the stars, the moon's out. I just remember looking at this sort of, you know, this yacht and these lads, and they're going, right, Nick, come on, let's go. And I was at the, you know, the bow of the yacht with the last, you know, the last cleat sort of thing. Are you really sure about this? And they're like, Nick, you know, you're with us or you're against us, you know, come on. And they start singing all this, and I just thought, fuck it, you know, let's go. And I just took one loop off this cleat, chucked the sheet onto the boat, onto the yacht, jumped aboard, and we just drifted out into this main shipping channel off of Kiel. We got the motor going, and we're just heading out. We're heading out to sea, and it's like we're singing pirate songs. We're like life on the ocean waves and all this kind of thing. And then there's this noise below decks, right? And this fucking full screw. Like, unbeknown to us, he'd driven up from our unit to drive from the MT to drive us back to camp, right? And he goes, what? He came up from below deck sort of thing, and he's like, what the fuck are you lot doing? No one saying anything. He goes, you're in the fucking shit now. You don't know how much trouble you're in. Turn this fucking boat around and get back to shore. You know, you're going to jail and all the rest of it. And we're like, no, mate, you're the one that's in the shit. You know, this is our boat. We're going. We're off. We had no charts. We couldn't sail. Yeah, we've been on the piss, you know, on this course. Competent crewman is just, can you pull in the foresail? Can you put up the mainsail? It's not like, can you navigate out of a main shipping channel? Can you sort of navigate yourself through the dark, you know, through the night? So this full screw, which is a corporal, for those who don't know it, we and him and another guy, we've said, like, you know, you're either coming with us or we're going to make you walk the plank, right? So we're 3 miles offshore in the main shipping channel, and this guy starts sort of stuttering and blubbering, and we're like, right, pulled the life raft, inflated this life raft, you know, but we inflate it in the sort of, not in below deck, but in the cockpit. So all like, pull this button, you know, all this, we're pushed up against the side of the yacht. I mean, it's laughable. Anyway, we eventually chuck this thing over. There's a bit of a struggle. We chuck this thing over the side, get the 2 lads, put them in this life raft, and we just cut them adrift. I mean, you know, I'm not sort of proud of that. These 2 guys, yeah, they didn't know they were being captured. They'd come up to drive us back to camp, right? So they're innocent. They're from the MT section. They're not the 4 guys, me and the other 3 guys that have nicked the yacht. They were asleep below decks. They've got no idea what's happening. So literally made them walk the plank, put them in this life raft. I mean, we saw a lighthouse, and we sort of in the middle of this shipping channel. We sort of headed towards it as close as we could, and then just cut the rope, mate, and they drifted off. And I just remember seeing them because they span in our wake a bit. They were doing this 360, and these two sort of, pale faces. We were pissed we didn't have to sail the thing. They thought they were going to sort of drown at sea. We're going off into the middle of the Baltic, But anyway, we cut them adrift. We could hear, and the other thing is the Mayday alerts were going off. So it was all we could hear all night was Mayday, 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 all shipping, be on the lookout for the British yacht Cormorant. So we could hear all this. Turn that thing off.
Is that because someone had realised it had been stolen?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we peeled the letters off. I remember leaning over the back of the ship and the yacht, and I peeled the letters off. So it read moron, right? So I've taken off the CDO and the ANT. So it said moron, and we put up a German flag. So we're now the German yacht moron, right? And anyway, we just drift off through the night, and I passed out. Everyone's like passing out left, right, and centre. I kind of woke up in the morning, and if you've ever been on a boat in a harbour, when a boat goes past you, you're generally pretty calm, and then you ripple, don't you? And I woke up and I was like rocking. The boat was rocking, and I was thinking, fuck, that was a mad dream I've just had, And I was thinking, oh, that's a big boat that's going past us, because we're still rocking, 5 minutes later. And I'm thinking, that's not right. And I this is in the morning. I wake up and I go up on deck, and there's my mate there and Geordie. They're sort of just slumped in with a tiller, right? And it's just fog. Everywhere is just fog. I couldn't see any land, nothing. And I'm like, it wasn't a dream. We actually done it. We're in the middle of the Baltic. And I woke, my mate up, and I said, Chief, where are you? Where are we? He goes, I don't know, Nick. I fell asleep. I said, well, what bearing have we been on? He goes, I don't know. And I thought, we're in the shit, and I was like, well, we got no charts. Our other mate was still asleep, and this realization just dawns on you. You're thinking about these two lads, right? You phone overboard, you're like, oh, you're hangover from hell and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, I got this roadmap out, right? And this BAR roadmap, and I'm going through it. There's got to be a bit on Denmark, and yeah, lo and behold, a bit of Kiel was in the one of the last sections of the map. Was Kiel, blue strip of ocean, and I'm like, well, we've come out of Kiel. If we go north, if we go on, northerly bearing, we must, unless we've gone too far east into East Germany, if we stick north, we can hit land. We've got to hit land somewhere. So that's what we did. So we went north, got northerly bearing, and we've been on the motor all night. So we're in on this diesel engine all night. We've got no life raft. And we don't know how to sail, but when we set this, you can know how to set a compass. We set the sort of bearing to north, and we just chugged off into the soup, into this pea soup. And you can imagine it's quite a long day through the fog, through the mist. Eventually clears, sort of mid-afternoon, and then we get into a storm. A bit of a squall blows up, and we're thinking, oh, by this point we managed to put a sail up, because we thought we can run out of diesel, We put this sail up, and we're still on northerly bearing, and late afternoon we see land. We're like, land ahoy! You can imagine. I thought, oh my god, it's like a lifeline, And so we just handrailed this coastline. We're still about 3 miles offshore, 3 miles offshore. We just handrailed this coastline, and I'm looking through this map, thinking, oh, is there any harbours or anything? And I thought, we can't go another night. Do you know what I mean? Because we're going to run out of diesel. We had to take the sail down because it got really windy, like it's quite a storm blowing, and rough seas. And at one point I go to take the mainsail down, it got stuck on something and we got heeled over, and I'm dangling over the edge, my feet are in the water. We got no life jackets on, nothing like that. It's getting to be a sticky situation. We're getting deeper and deeper into it, and eventually we're saying, well, what's the options? What have we got? Well, we ain't got no life raft, we can't swim ashore, we're gonna have to run aground. If we don't see anything, we're just gonna have to run this thing into the rocks. And that, obviously that didn't sit right. And then late afternoon, we just saw like a ferry in the distance going into a harbour. So we thought, follow that ferry, and we saw this harbour before the main ferry port. And we decided to put on sailing suits, because we thought, the authorities are looking for us. We still calling out maydays, and taking the sails down, got the engine started up, and we sort of just punted into this ferry, and right in front of us there was Danish police on the ferry, and we thought, that's it, they've come for us. But sort of just bluff your case a bit, started scrubbing the decks down and would wave to them and stuff like this. And Craig, we managed to, because we came in too fast, wind behind us. We were like, I don't know, doing about, 7-8 knots into, you need to take the gas off. So we just managed to swing around it, drop everything, and just managed to moor it up. And first thing we did, start cleaning the decks down. The police guard came alongside us to a crawl. He just sort of looked across at us like this, and we sort of looked at him, and he just carried on going. He saw the name on the boat, moor on. He saw the German flag. He's looking for a British yacht, cormorant, And we got away with it. Packed some kit up in a sail bag, some DOS bags. I just wrote a note downstairs, gone fishing, left a little note, and we just walked off from the harbour. We come across this pub, and we just sat down and we just had a beer, and we were like, fucking hell. We have this drink, this barmaid brings over four large pints. We haven't got much money, that's the other thing. So we got no money. I did have a credit card, nothing on it. Pours our 4 beers. It's like that ice cold in Alex, thing. And we're looking at the beer, this sort of trip down the edge of it, and just knock these beers back, and it's like, fucking hell. And we just thought, the fuck we're going to get out of this, and we're in Denmark. We've made the crossing. Thankfully, we haven't caused any damage to the yacht. We have these beers, and we thought, let's just make our way, jump on the train and get into Copenhagen. We thought, we'll have one night on the piss, and then we'll think about it, because everything gets resolved after the night on the piss, doesn't it? So we jump on the train. Like I say, we haven't got any currency, we haven't got any cash as it is. We've got a few Deutschmarks, I think, and we get into Copenhagen, right? So, and we got this sail bag, and it has got what we took from the yacht. It's got our DOS bags in, and we thought, right, we'll leave this in left luggage. And we're in the middle of this sort of concourse. There's loads and loads of people walking around, and we're just stuffing this this bag into the left luggage. And two of my mates, buddies who was in training with, sort of walk up to us, and he goes, "Right, lads, what are you up to?" And we go, "Oh, we're on leave." He goes, we go, "What are you doing?" He says, "Oh, we're in the tall ships race with the British Army. We've come from Kiel." And we're like, "Oh, fuck." He goes, "What?" I says, "Are you with the instructors from Kiel?" And he goes, "Yeah, all of the head shed are here." He goes, "We're looking for these 4 lads who've nicked this yacht." I said, "What?" He said, "Did you hear about these 4 blokes who nicked this yacht?" And I said, "What about the 2 lads that got chucked overseas?" He goes, "They're all right." He goes, "How do you know about them?" And I was like, "Fuck it," I goes, "Oh yeah, somebody told us about it," type thing. So we bluffed that off, and they left. I thought, oh, we've got to get out of this station because the head shed from Kiel, we're in that station, and we just literally got the key in the lock, turning this thing, and it's sort of like a parting of the crowd, and like 100 meters away, we just locked eyes with this warrant officer who was in charge of the British Army Sailing Centre. And he just pinged us. Do you know what I mean? It was just a pure sort of fluke. And he, same thing, goes, all right, lads, what are you up to? We go, give him the same thing. He goes, oh, we're on leave. And then his oppo said, oh, I recognise you from Kiel. Sure, you're not from Kiel. And so there we are, right? So we've achieved our objective. We're in Copenhagen. We've had a drink. We've sort of met the objective. We've got no money. This W01 is actually in the MP, so he's in the military police, but he's actually on detachment where he's looking after this sailing centre. And so now we're faced with this choice. So you've always got a choice, and this is one of the key sort of elements that I've learned about, that you always have a choice, right? And our choice at that time was, we either knock these two guys out and go on the run, or we look at the other option, And I said, hold on a minute. And I said, look, we'll have a little chin wag. And he says, look, listen, lads. He goes, if you're the guys, if it's you, I'll say that you handed yourselves in to me. And that is a massive lifeline. That's not being caught. That's handing yourself in. So we went, fair enough, it's us, And he was like, fuck for that. He goes, well done, lads. He goes, you made a really good choice. And it really stayed with me, that. And he goes, first thing he said to us after that, he goes, where is she? We're like, where's who? He goes, where's the cornroom? So we said, oh, it's in Rodby Harbour, and he goes, right. And he sent his oppo, and he goes, right, go make a phone call. I said, just so you know, it's now called the Moron, right? Anyway, so off he goes. The W01, right? He goes, listen, Ed, he goes, you made a really good choice. Come with me now. But I'll stick to my word. I'll say you hand yourself in. And he went, found the local old bill on the station. They locked us up on the station. And he was going off to this tall ships race, and he said, well done, lads. He goes, all right, I'll see you again, no doubt. Anyway, this is the key thing, is that we just said, look, when it's like when you go on the piss, you forget all sorts of detail, don't you? So we said, nobody remembers anything. All we remember is waking up in the morning and then trying to get to land and then trying to hand ourselves in at the earliest opportunity. That's the story, because nobody wanted to incriminate anyone. So we get picked up by the old bill, and they take us in this sort of meat wagon through Copenhagen. We can see we're going through, downtown. We see all the lights, all the action, just looking out the back window with the bars on. And we get put in a prison in Denmark, and then basically we got, I don't know how many nights we're in there, but then the British come up, the military come up, and we got taken to the SIB, which is the Special Investigation Branch, and we got took straight to them, right? And it was literally interrogation, before I had the interrogation. So it's interrogation, and it was straight out the Sweeney. In he comes, a cup of tea, glass of water, sort of plastic cup sort of thing, and it's like, I was the last one to get interrogated, so I've been stood up like, I don't know, 8-10 hours or something. Get into this room. He goes, right, Nick, how you doing? Come in, sit down. He says, do you want a cup of tea, mate? This is the oppo, right? Do you want a cup of tea? I goes, yeah, love one. He goes, right, tell us about this story then. So I'm drinking the tea like this. I thought, I've got to drink this tea. I was out hanging out. Have this tea first before I tell him, because I knew what the other lads would have said, and I said, look, well, where do you want to know from? And he goes, tell us from, I said, when you're in Kiel, I said, well, we went out on the piss. Yeah, we know all that. The lads would tell us how you went out on the piss. Tell us when you got back to the sailing club. I said, well, look, you know, the first thing I can really remember is waking up in the morning. He goes, "Fuck you, lying bastard." He went, "Poof." The drinks are off the table. His mate's got me up against the wall. It's like a replay of the other thing that I had in years to come. Up against the wall, goes, "You lying shit." He goes, "Gee, you're getting fucking 10 years for this." They wanted to give us 10 years. We were going to be the first British soldiers to be charged with piracy for 200 years. That's what we were getting charged with. I mean, it was like piracy, endangering life, danger to international shipping, drunken charge of a vessel, crossing borders. I mean, the charge sheet was 2 sheets of A4, right? That they were scheming up. He goes, "You're getting 10 years for this. You know, you don't know how much shit you're in." And I'm like, he goes, "So you better fucking wise up, because all your mates have already told us it's you, right? So just tell the story, and you know, it's gonna look better on you. You're gonna get an easier sentence or whatever." He goes, "So off we go." And so I said, "Can we have a cup of tea?" He goes, "Fuck off," you know. Just said anyway. So I'm like, I woke up on the yacht, and he up against the wall again. You know, all this thing. Oh, we didn't budge from the story. That's it. And he didn't get anything. That's all they got from us. Got back to camp eventually, and then you go through. You get another bollocking. We were on like close arrest for months and months, which meant, you know, you confined to camp. You paraded 3 times a day in number 2s, like best kit. You weren't allowed on any bars on camp. All you could do was go to work, and then go back to the block, and then you'd be at the guardhouse parading. And now they went against Queen's regs doing that, and we had a sense that they were kind of doing that because they didn't know. They thought they were just going to wash their hands of us, and you know, and that'd be the end of it. So they just treat us how they want, really. But in answer to your question, what the military, you know, the values of the military are about discipline, about rank, or about, you know, loyalty and all this kind of thing. And if we were going to go to court martial, if it was going to go even to civilian, then it would be in the public domain. And months went by, and eventually, about 8 months later, Peter Billier was our brigadier, right? So he was obviously ex SAS, in charge of the special forces in the Gulf, and but at this time, that's before that. But he was now a brigadier in charge of like our division in Germany, and it landed on his desk, right? So it's down to him. Were we going to get court-martialed, or was he going to give our CO extended powers? So a brigadier can do that, give a CO extended powers, because CO can only give you 28 days in the extended powers. You can double the sentence, 56 days. So, you know, we were told, like he said, like if these lads can navigate across the Baltic, where not cause any harm to anybody, like because the lads got picked up, or to the ship, and you know, hand themselves in, then you know, I think it said it was a good sense, showed good initiative, and he gave the CO extended powers. So we got 56 days in Colchester. I mean, it was like unheard of, because they were, for a long time, it went from 10 years, right, you're getting 2 years. You're getting court-martial, dishonourable discharge. And of course, that was a huge pressure. We weren't allowed to drink at this point, and you know, there was no relief for us. I mean, we were like we had like leprosy, you know what I mean? People just, you know, a few people have stayed loyal to you that I'm still loyal to now, but obviously you don't want to kind of hang around people that are getting court-martialed, right? And then it went to him. It came back that we're now we're on CO's orders, right? And so we go into orders, and he goes, "You accept my award?" Yeah, of course we accept your award. We grab onto that. He goes, "Right, I've got extended powers. You get 56 days in Colchester." And we're like, and soldier on. This was the thing. We weren't getting dishonourable discharge. 56 days and soldier on. And we're like, oh, thank God for that, you know. I mean, you could do 56 days, right? So we got basically, you know, sent to Colchester. But the but the twist in the tail, right? I mean, you've heard of Colchester, right? Everybody in the services has heard of Colchester. It sort of, it sends a shiver down your spine, the name of it. And when we got flown back to Germany, handcuffed on a plane, taken through a side exit and all this. And I just remember getting handcuffed onto this bus, those green army buses used to go to ranges on. And part of me's thinking, oh, I'm home. I'm back in UK, happy days. And then you think, oh, actually, I'm not going on leave. I'm going to Collie. And it is quite a thing to think about, a place to go to. And but first morning, like you wake up there, and they put us in the same room together, and we're in for the first night. It's sort of like a holding cell, and there's on the Mondays a big sort of commandant's parade, right? And before you go on the parade, you're lined up. You've got A wing, which is all of the military that doing time that go back to the units, right? They're soldier on. Then you've got D wing. They're doing up to 2 years. They're doing a sentence and they're getting discharged from the army, or even doing 2 years and then going into a civilian prison, right? So you've got A wing on one side, D wing on the other side of this parade square. And then the RSM comes out. And we're like, I mean, we're obviously fucking nervous, like, we don't know what the sketch is or anything. But we're on parade, and this RSM comes out, and I'm thinking, I recognise him somewhere. He just calls our names out. He goes, Wildman. He calls out the other females. He goes, get out here, 1 pace mark. And this is in front of everyone. Take 1 pace forward like this. I know you 4 fuckers from somewhere. And I'm like, oh my God, it's the guy from Kiel. The guy we've handed ourselves into, a year later is now the RSM at Colchester. And it was just like, it was the full circle of the story, really. And anyway, we got an easy ride, really, from the rest of the soldiers under sentence, as they're known. Because there's quite a lot of violence and intimidation and all that kind of stuff in that place. We got an easy ride. And even on the inspections, he would come in, you're allowed 1 photo. You didn't sleep on your bed because your bed has to be immaculate. You're sleeping on the floor. Everything you own has got to be like in a sheet of A4 paper, like combat jacket, all your kit. It's immaculate. It's unbelievable. And I mean, the routine there is pretty... it's known as the harshest penal regime in the country. That's civilian and military. And you're allowed 1 photo inside of your locker. And on the weekly inspection that the commandant would come around one of the rooms as well. You had to open your locker, and I'd taken a picture of the 4 of us when we landed at Rodby Harbour with our arms around the shoulder, next to this. And you can read the moron right next to the boat. So I put that up on the inside of my locker. Anyway, he comes in and he goes, oh, right. And he's like sat on your bed. He goes, tell us what bearing were you on? It's like great, and it was just it's just how the military do things, isn't it? They got a sense of humour at the end of the day. So much so, when we got back to the unit, our colonel, the guy giving us the sentence, he put us in the army sailing team. So me and my best mate, the chief, as I call him, we entered the army sailing. We come third in the army championships because we got trained how to do dinghy sailing, right? So we were sailing every week, and so we won the regimental cup, and the colonel had to then present us with a trophy about a couple of months after we come out of Colchester. So it all turns into a laugh and joke. We used to have pirate dudes in the squadron. We're singing pirate songs. We're like Life on the Ocean Waves and all this kind of thing. We had no charts. We couldn't sail. We've been on the piss, on this course.
Turning every negative into a positive, not being a doom merchant.
these two guys, yeah, they didn't know they were being captured.